evening Internet. I am James Martin and welcome to something a little bit different from this channel. I'd like to talk to you about this. It's a book. Specifically, it's a book what I wrote about playing the guitar. When I first set out to write this book, my ambition was to try and write the book that I wish I had had when I was first starting out. And my impetus to do this came from parents and students asking me which book should I recommend. And there was never one single volume that I could 100% get behind. It was more a case of, well, you want this bit of this book and this bit of this one and this bit of this one. And there was never one all-encompassing one. So I decided I was going to go ahead and actually put something together. The idea being this was going to be everything that you needed and nothing that you didn't. And to that end, here is 0 Point Guitar. So named because it literally takes you from point zero, i.e. absolute beginner, and for the initial part of the book I have tried to assume no knowledge whatsoever about guitars, about music, about anything, and simply go from the ground up, taking you all the way through to the point where you're able to go and play with other musicians. You're able to recognise and play songs really just by hearing them, and able to understand the basics of music theory, nothing too fancy, but only the stuff that you need, and really that you're a well-rounded and competent musician able to go and play with other people and enjoy the experience and approach basically any situation competently. A core of knowledge and skills that will see you right whatever you try to do musically. Okay, so let's take a little look at this. So in the introductory stages we learn about holding the guitar, we learn about which bit of the guitar is which, so that when your long-suffering teacher says put your finger on the 5th fret of the G string, you know what he's on about. We also learn a little bit about how to read notation and tablature, should that be something that you want to focus on. And at every stage I incorporate this, which is a practice routine designed for a student of that level. So obviously early days you're looking at around about a 5-minute practice routine, because with the best will in the world it's hard work when you start playing, and the fingers are going to scream blue murder if you try and do an hour every day when you're just brand new to it. So I've tried to stagger every practice routine to reflect that. And if we get further on, we start learning a few chords, and we build everything around 5 basic chord shapes that we can then relate everything back to. We can modify those chords into different types. We can relate scale fingerings, etc. back to them. We also learn a little bit more about rhythm, about how to practice things efficiently and successfully. And we learn things like, for example, the 12-bar blues, a very universal chord sequence that's used throughout popular music. We learn a little bit more about rhythm. We go on and develop our chords from being majors into minors, so from happy to sad. And we develop new chords like suspended chords, for example. And before we get into stage 4, where we learn to move up and down the fretboard rather than just staying in one area. But this is where we also learn a little bit about music theory. Not too much, as I say, it's all the stuff you need, nothing you don't. At this point, for example, you don't need to know what a Mixolydian flat 6 is, so we don't talk about it. We learn only the bits you need. They will give you a springboard into the next stage should you want to go there. And in stage 5 we learn about power chords. We learn about moving up and down the neck and playing 12-bar blues sequences in any key. So you can go to an open mic night and somebody will say, oh well, okay, we're doing such and such a song, it's a 12-bar in the key of B, and you'll go, okay, yeah, I'll know that. So when you are on stage and Martin McFly joins you breathless and says, okay guys, it's a 12-bar in B, watch me for the changes and try and keep up, you'll know what to do in that situation. We've all been there. We also start learning a little bit about how to create solos. So when Martin McFly turns to you on stage and says, guitar, you can handle that situation. And as we move into stage 6, we learn a little bit more about how to move from note to note. So we learn about things like string bending, slides, ham-ons and pull-offs, all that type of stuff. And we also learn about how to build a solo, so ideas to take away and develop. And what I've tried to do is, rather than shoehorn fully formed licks into a student, is more a case of taking a core concept. Students of mine will be familiar, for example, with the magic 3 notes, and then using those as a springboard to build from. Demonstrate a little bit about that. So I'll mention these magic 3 notes. So in, for example, E minor, I would be playing. There's my magic 3, which I can then develop with, let's say, a hammer-on, or a pull-off, or a bend. I'll combine hammer and pull-off, combine them with a bend, and before you know it, you're creating some very interesting stuff. And then in the 7th section, we learn about the chromatic scale and the Nashville number system. So this is the sort of hidden secret really into how you can go and learn lots of songs very, very quickly, and how you can recognize the same chord patterns that get used time and time and time and time again, and how you can learn to change key, which is a very, very useful real world situation. For example, if your singer has a cold, or they've suddenly decided that this such and such a song is too high or too low for them, and you can now adapt to that situation. You can go right ahead and play that song without any issues. And then finally, in the last stage, talk a little bit about how to go about learning a song by ear, how to map the whole thing out, how to get an overview of the song before you start focusing in on the little details, as it's all too easy to get hung up on trying to learn a song bar by bar and memorise it, and that's really not an efficient way of doing it. So yeah, as I say, this is a bit of a labour of love, and it's the book that I wish I'd had when I was starting out. It's the book that you can have when you're starting out. Links are in the description below. You can get this through Lulu, you can get this through Amazon. Hell, if you're short on funds, you can even hop on. I've even seen a couple of copies on eBay, which I'm still not really sure on how I feel about that. And the audio tracks are available from me, so you can message me, or you can just drop a link on, drop a comment on YouTube. And there are 156 play-along tracks, all different ability levels. So it's a pretty all-encompassing program, and it's a program I run all my students through, and it's been pretty successful. So yeah, there we are, 0 Point guitar, and I also have a copy for the bass and keyboards as well. So I will leave you with that. I want to get the special someone in your life. If you would like to support the channel, then please do like, subscribe, share, all that type of good stuff, and drop a comment in the comment section below, and I will try to get back to you. And in the meantime, peace. See you soon. All the best.